Earlier this year, WW and I traveled the country on a tour for wellness.
Are you ready to activate your vision?
Now, being and staying well is more important than ever. Welcome to WW Presents Your Life in Focus, a vision forward, the virtual experience. Hello, everyone. Hello, around the world. Welcome to week 3 of our virtual tour experience. We are live around the world. Oh, I see you all. Hello there, Royalty, Jay Johnson, all there. All see you all around the world. This is our third Saturday together, and I'm hoping that Bermuda, see you in the house. Hoping you're all starting to feel more focused and well. I have a swollen eye this morning from a sty on my eye. So if you think that there's something wrong with my eye, there is. That's why I tried to wear glasses that would hide it this morning. But other than the swollen eye, I'm in good health and feeling like it's been a really rough week. I know for those of you who are around the world, you might not recognize what's happening in our country, even though it's all over the news. There is a lot of unrest. And I think rightful unrest, actually, based upon what we all saw this week. We literally witnessed on camera a man's life being snuffed out before our very eyes. It's an image that I cannot get out of my consciousness. And I just think that this is a wake-up call for all of us, particularly in our country. You know, Ralph Ellison, who wrote The Invisible Man decades ago, said that when people feel invisible long enough, they will lash out at the world to remind them that they exist. And that's exactly what we're seeing. People saying, I am here, I exist, and I have value. And I think those of us who have the ability to be seen and be heard in our lives, whether you are Black or white or Asian, Hispanic, whatever your religious beliefs are, that it is incumbent upon all of us not just to be outraged when we see injustice, because I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, that was so terrible, but that's not enough just to say, oh, it's so terrible. We can't tolerate hate crimes perpetrated by anybody, by authorities or anybody in this country. And until we're all willing to speak up and say, that will not happen on my watch, we're willing to do the work that says that we're going to daily dismantle in our own way, in our own world, all the constructs of injustice, things will not change. But so I have a heavy heart, but I'm happy to be here with all of you today as we try to move forward, because that's what we need to do, is to move forward. It's wonderful to be able to stay connected to you. After each experience, we are so gratified to read your posts on Facebook and YouTube and your texts and all your comments on Zoom. So do keep those coming. After last week's conversation on connection with renowned couples therapist Esther Perel, Fairy Gada, I like that, Fairy Gada, posted on Twitter that she used the tricks and tips that we shared. And she says, it worked like magic. I'd like to know what that magic looked like, Fairy Gada. And she said, my relationship with my husband has come to a new level. The little complaints that I had have automatically vanished. So that's a good thing that happened from last week. And Teresa texted us to say that after our first experience on Focus, that she started doing yoga 3 times a week. She said she took long breaths, reminded herself that everything she's going through is preparing her for the next moment. So yay to you, Teresa. That's exactly it. And how much do we love this? Bobby from Facebook said that the release of tension last week brought her to tears. I think that was that moment when Tracy Ellis Ross was telling us to go, okay. She said she needed a lot of deep breaths. And I have to say, I needed a lot of deep breaths myself this week. What is amazing to me is that no matter the technological distance we have built, such a worldwide community, and when we had this idea, we really were not sure how this type of virtual connection might feel, but we just wanted to try it at WW. And it so delights me that in just the first 2 weeks that nearly 2 million of you have joined us so far. It's like the world's biggest virtual studio from WW, which you can now sign up for around the world. Um, Based on all of the comments, there were two big takeaways, I think, from last week. Number one, the question isn't always, am I with the right person? It's also, am I being the right person? And number two, whether you're with someone or you're alone, social distancing doesn't have to mean social disconnection. Were those right for you all too? Yeah. Not just am I with the right person, but am I being the right person? I thought that was my big takeaway, and that kind of pulled me up a little bit. So this week we're talking about adapting and developing the tools that will help you build a stronger, more resilient self. And one of the things that I have come to learn in my age and paying attention to life is that whatever is breaking you down is actually here to break you open. So if you're feeling a little broke down, just wait for the breaking open. The breaking open will show up if you will be open to the breaking. Whatever is here to break you down is actually here to break you open. And the sooner you can make the shift to see how can I open, the breakdown becomes a breaking open. So the shift is to see the possibility for the breaking open. And so you've heard me say this many times, those of you who followed me over the years, that every crisis, every disruption, every time there is a challenge, I ask, what is this here to teach me? And what is this here to teach us? Because I think about my individual consciousness, because my goal is to keep rising in consciousness and awareness and self-actualization for myself, and to help others do it. That's why we're all here this morning. And also to bring that awakening to the greater consciousness that is each of us. So what is this here to teach me? I'm asking myself that this week about all of the unrest and the sadness that I feel. And what is this here to teach us? That's the number one question. If you can ask that when whatever shows up in your life, the paradigm gets to shift so that you're not blaming the thing, but you're asking the thing to allow you to open. So change is what people fear the most, because most people like being in their own box. You just like being in your own comfort zone. You don't like things to change. And adapting is actually how we're able to move forward. It's the only way to evolve. That's what we're supposed to do as humans, is adapt. And ultimately, our evolution to a higher way of being, to a higher consciousness, I think, is each of our purposes. That your purpose ultimately is to live out the truest expression of yourself as a human being. And as you do that, you evolve to what is supposedly your higher level of consciousness. So today we want to talk about how to adapt, how to accept change, and how to move forward. And moving forward means staying in alignment so that you are continuously in process with your authentic power. So I just want to stop and talk about authentic power for a moment. I discovered this term, authentic power, around 1989 when I read Gary Zukav's book, Seed of the Soul, which that is what it's all about. And he says that authentic power is when your personality comes to serve the mission of your soul. So it's when your personality aligns with what your soul came to do, because ultimately your soul came to earth to do something, and you are going to use your personality to accomplish what your soul came here to accomplish. So you're only authentically in power when your personality lines up with what your soul came to do. And when your personality aligns with what your soul came to do, that is, can't nobody touch you. can't nobody touch you, because you are 1000% in the flow of yourself. So that's what we're all striving for, right? To keep that alignment, Am I living in the flow of what my soul came to do? Am I using all of my talents, my skills, my gifts to line up with what my soul came to do? And when you're doing that, you're in purpose, on purpose. So last week, I touched on something I learned from Joel Osteen that was an aha moment for many of you. I heard from Elizabeth from Facebook, called it beautiful. And Sean from YouTube said it was able to lift her spirits a little bit too. This speaks so much to how you can adapt when you're in the moment. So if you weren't here last week, I said that Joel Osteen and I had a conversation, and he said that whatever follows I am is going to come looking for you. So if you're constantly saying, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm so tired, I'm so overweight, I can't get it together, that becomes your vibe, that becomes your reality. And that's literally what you're putting out into the world and what's coming back to you, because that's the number one law that's always working, is that what you're putting out is coming back. And so your life is actually how you see it. You see the possibility, you see with faith of all you need is a faith of a mustard seed, what the Bible says. You shift to, I'm not so tired, but I'm getting my second win. Oh, I'm getting myself ready. And I am well, I am well, I am well, I am well. In this moment, I am well. So the I am is so powerful. Tricia from WW Facebook posted, I am perfect in this moment. I love that. Perfect in my imperfections, but loving the fact that I know and love them. It's what our very first tour in Fort Lauderdale, when Lady Gaga says that she has come to radical acceptance. So in a difficult time, decide, I am going to be in peace today. That is what I'm saying to myself, in spite of all the disruption and unrest in the world that is so easy to get pulled into it, particularly if you're watching the news. I am at peace. Being at peace is a position of power. That's when you can do the most, when you are at peace. It's hard to do the most when you're not at peace, when you're in disruption, and when you're in anger, and when you're in pain. It's hard to actually do and be the most effective. So let's dive into how we adapt and achieve authentic power. Jay Shetty is a former monk, and his podcast, On Purpose, is one of the most popular health podcasts in the world. He is now a life coach with 35 million followers, who says he's on a mission to make ancient wisdom more accessible, especially right now. Don't we need it? And Jay, I love your definition of resilience. You say choosing what's right, what's going to push you forward, even in tough times. You say resilience is a muscle. And I think we all could use a bit of resilience right now. Hello.
Hey, Oprah, I'm so grateful to be with you here today. And I just want to thank you for being such a conscious change maker in the world and guiding us through these tough times. You've been an inspiration in my life in more than ways than I can say. So just wanted to start with that. But you're so right that resilience is choosing what's right, what pushes us forward, even in difficult times. And I just want to say that everyone who is tuned in today, everyone who's listening, everyone who's going to watch the replay, you're all building resilience right now because you're choosing growth even in difficult times. You're choosing to listen, to learn, and to lead even in tough times. And when you make that choice, pain doesn't weaken you, it strengthens you. And that's resilient.
Yeah, and I've often said this, Jay, too, that I so agree that pain doesn't weaken you, it strengthens you. And that when you can remember that strength over time, that strength times strength times strength times strength actually equals power. So those of you who've been through a lot of stuff where you say, and I've had these moments like, Lord, don't show me nothing new this week, because I'm really strong enough. Thank you very much. Don't show me nothing new. But when you've been through it many times, you actually have power.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And I think that when we repeat, we always get this opportunity to repeat our good choices or to repeat some of our bad choices. And the more we get to see, as you were saying, that strength accumulating, that strength accelerating, we start to recognize, let me make that choice one more time.
So you posted on Instagram that no one could have predicted that we would be in this situation right now. But one thing we do know is that new challenges, listen up, everybody, this is what Jay said, new challenges require new skills. Even small steps can create big change. And I think that's so important what you're saying, Jay, because everybody always wants to do the big, big, big thing. And I'm starting Monday, I'm going to do I'm going to run 5 miles instead of let me just run a half a mile. Let me walk a half a mile. So let's talk about that. What are some of the small steps that we can take now?
Absolutely. And I've been there too, Oprah. So I know what that feels like to be in that position. And I believe we always have two choices, to escape or to elevate. And escape gives us instant gratification, as we all know and have experienced. And elevating gives us this lasting greatness. And so there are 4 simple things that we can do every day that transform it. And it come in the form of the acronym TIME, so T-I-M-E. The T stands for thankfulness. We know that gratitude is powerful. It boosts our immune system. It brightens our mood. But what I really love about gratitude is not just feeling it, but expressing it. Send that voice note, send that video, send that message. Taking that moment to express gratitude makes such a difference in our life right now, and such a difference to that person receiving it. The I stands for...
I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to stop you right there on the T. You said we all know how powerful gratitude is. If you all know that, I'd like to see it in the screens. If you can, I get a witness. I mean, it changes everything, does it not? I would say this. I before I open my eyes in the morning, you know, that phase where you just kind of like, oh, I'm still alive, I'm still here. The first thing I've trained myself to do is to say thank you for that, because gratitude literally changes your vibration. It doesn't just help you, it changes your vibration. Would you not agree?
Yeah, 100%. And what I love about it, and Oprah, I've heard you speak about this before, and you know, it's discussed broadly around how what really makes a difference with gratitude is when it's deeply heartfelt and it's really specific. And so we all know that then we can really think about, how is this unique to me? That's what has such a great impact. The I in time, as I was explaining, stands for inspiration. I feel that finding daily inspiration, we have this obsession, and it can carry us away of how many books have I finished? How many podcasts have I listened to? How much have I completed? When actually it's so less about finishing something and so much more about practicing something. So how can we find one verse, one point, one paragraph, one quote, one insight that we can practice daily, that we can actually apply in our lives? And that will make such a big difference.
Okay, I begin with, you know, I have on my phone bowl of sake. Are you familiar with bowl of sake from Hazrat Inayat Khan? So that's what I go to first when I open my phone, is some daily inspiration. For me, it's bowl of sake. For you all, it could be whatever you want. But I start with a daily inspiration. I start with gratitude. So far, I got two out of 4. What's the next one?
That's brilliant. The third one is meditation. And
3 out of 4, good.
And for me, the simplest definition that I've come across of meditation that I love is just a meeting with yourself. Taking out time to spend time with yourself. I think we have meetings with lots of other people. We have schedules with lots of other people. But imagine just seeing a time for yourself where you can ask yourself a few questions. How am I doing?
Everybody's nodding because we got that. Jay, that resonated in a way that I think we got it, because I think there's this big mystery always around. I see your heart up there, Mr. J. I see your heart. I think there's this mystery around it. Like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it long enough? Oh God, I'm still feeling the thoughts. But what you just said, did that not click, y'all? Did you not hear that in a deeper way? That meditation really is a meeting with yourself. Go, Jay, that's really good.
Thank you. And I'm so glad it resonated. And just being able to sit down with yourself and ask the questions, how am I doing today?
Mm-hmm.
What can I change today that's going to make me feel better? simply asking yourself those two questions can shift your day. These are questions we ask our friends and our family. Let's ask them to ourselves as well.
Yeah.
And
And does it
finally,
matter how much time, Jake? Does it matter how long that meditation is? Because everybody gets hung up on it. It has to be 20 minutes. It has to be twice a day. It has to be. Tell me.
I would say just start, and this is a starting point. Just start with that 5 minutes a day of spending time with yourself. Find joy in your own company for 5 minutes a day, and it will start to naturally extend and expand.
And those of you with children, when your kids say, "Mom, what are you doing?" You say, "I'm going to have a meeting with myself." Go in the bathroom, close the door, put down the toilet seat, and have a little meeting with yourself. Love that, Jay. Next, E stands for.
And E stands for exercise. And the one thing I love about exercise to point out is that it can be dance, it can be movement. And I know, Oprah, you had the wonderful Julianne Hough on your tour teaching Kinergy, which I am a huge fan of and think is beautiful. I think movement and getting that movement in your day, whether it is dance, whether it's a virtual workout, whatever that is for you, finding that time is really powerful.
All right. So it's time. It's an acronym of time, using time. Thank you. Thank you so much. That resonated, right? We got that, y'all. I see you nodding around the world. Okay, so let's see how to adapt and strengthen our resilience right now. Let's go to our workbooks. Jay, you're going to stay with us.
Yes.
As always, today's workbook pages were included in the email that we sent you when you registered at www.com/Oprah. So if you were not able to download them, we're going to put the pages up on the screen. And if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can write down your answers at home. And if you're on the Zoom webinar with us, you can participate in our interactive poll. Now, to do that, you have to enter your answers at the prompts on your phone or laptop, and then Zoom will tally our collective score so we can find out how we're all doing as a whole. Here we go. So first of all, our definition for adapting is our ability to adapt now is a form of self-care that will strongly influence our lives on the other side of COVID-19. When we cultivate tools to strengthen our resilience and bounce back from challenges, we're more likely to feel prepared to deal with life after the crisis. All right, we all accept that as our definition. So this is how you score. You know, if you've been with us, 1 is not me at all. Sometimes me is 2. Often that's me, is 3. And 4, woo, that's me. So we're going to read through each question. Remember, this is a check-in just to give you an idea of where you are in this moment. And then select, you're not going to be judged by it. Then select what most resembles you, and it will register into our Zoom poll. Or you can just write down on a piece of paper at home. Here we go. As new information regarding social distancing develops, I accept that my daily routines, including sleep, work, structure, and comfort, have been disrupted. I accept that my daily routines, including sleep, work, structure, and comfort. Is that not you? Are you resisting? Or is it sometimes you, often you, or that's me? I'm trying new things and finding different creative ways to approach activities I've always done. Is that not you at all? Sometimes, often, or that's you. I'm looking back at how I managed other challenging times in my life to build my confidence that I will get through this too. 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'm finding ways to feel joy with friends and family. Is that not you? Sometimes you, often you, that's you. Whether living alone or with others, I am coping well with the changes in my social and family relationships. Is that sometimes you, not you, often you, or really you? Now everybody add up your score. Ooh, some really good scores here. Good. Ooh, good score. Oh gosh, y'all are coping pretty well here. Hello, Mr. J. Hartman. How you doing? What's your score? That Joshua, I can't tell. It's Champ, I think is the name I can see from here. Okay. Okay, raise your hand if you scored 5 through 8. Our team is going to find you in our gallery here. I don't see any 5 through 8s. Nope. Okay, so keep your hand raised. Okay, no 5 through 8s. So 5 through 8s, I don't see anybody on the screen that's a 5 through 8. But if you are a 5 through 8 out there, oh, is that an 8? I see an 8. Please, I see you an 8 in the corner in black, raising your hand. Is it Lakaba? I can't tell your last name. That's great. Do you all see number 8 in the corner there?
Hi, Oprah.
There you are. Okay, hi there. Tell me your name.
My name's Kitu Mezi.
And where are you
Kitu
from?
for short.
Okay.
I'm from South Africa, Johannesburg.
Yay, South Africa. Great to see you. Thanks for being in the house. Thanks for being in the house. So you're struggling a little bit to adapt?
I am. We are creatures of habits. And when you go to work, South Africa are creatures of office hours. So the whole work from home, flexi hours thing, it's a very new thing and it's caught us completely off guard. So I am struggling a little bit with working from home and having flexi hours and just not having the normal 8 to 5 and doing your normal routine every day, because I'm a creature of routine.
Okay. All right, Mr. Shetty, what do you want to say to South Africa? Kitu.
Is that location has energy. And what I mean by that is when you do something in a particular location every day, that location carries the presence of that energy. It's why we find it easier to work in offices, why we find it easier to sleep in bedrooms. So what I'd suggest is finding a very clear workstation in your home, a place where you don't eat, you don't watch shows, you don't do anything else, you don't sleep, but it's a place that you work. It could be the edge of a table, a corner of a room. It can be the smallest space. And create something in that space that makes it a workspace. It could be a stack of books. It could be a particular scent. It could be a particular quote that inspires you. Make it a place that feels like you're working, that you're effective.
So that it actually is your flexi space, as you said, becomes your flexi space. Yeah. And you become regulated.
So
if you do that, Jay, it's like you become regulated in that space. And I love what you said, Jay, earlier, that all places hold a kind of energy. That's why you want to sleep in the bed and not do, your work in the bed, because the bed is for sleeping and other things. And also, it's the reason why I train myself not to work out in my pajamas, because my pajamas have a psychological feel that I'm supposed to not be working too hard in my pajamas. So even though I could just I could literally go all day and never change anything. I can just work out in the pajamas and I can work, and then I could Zoom in the pajamas, and then but I make myself change out of the pajamas for that reason. Thank you, Kitu. Thank you, South Africa. We love South Africa.
Thank you. Blessed to be here. Thank you so much.
All right. 9 through 12. Did I see some people? I did see some 12s up there on the screen. I see 10. Is it Chomele Cole? Hi. And the polka dots. Hello, Chomele. How are you? Nice to see you.
Hi.
I'm sure
Hi,
I mispronounced
Oprah. How are you?
Hi. Did I mispronounce your name?
Chantel.
Oh, okay. I couldn't see. And half of my right eye is closed today, so forgive me. Okay, Chantel, go ahead.
Hey, yeah, I'm having some problems adapting. My husband's working out of town, so I'm at home. We're also trying to sell our house, and I'm working from home. So trying to find a balance between, my health, my work, and trying to take care of the house is a little bit difficult. So I was wondering maybe Jay had some suggestions.
Okay, Jay, let's see what you got for Chantel.
Absolutely, Chantel. I totally appreciate the dynamic balance. And I'd always love to encourage you to start with yourself. I feel like when you feel that you have a strong foundation, when you feel that you have the strength you need, when you give more to yourself, you're going to be able to give more to others and everything else that's happening in your life. And so I feel it's finding that one thing that you can do for yourself every day that brings you joy. It could be a cup of tea, it could be reading a book. Just that, what is that one activity that you can do every day that brings that spark into you that then helps you go and share that with everything else that you have to do throughout the day?
Have you been doing that for yourself, Chantal? Have you been giving enough focus to yourself?
I've been trying, but sometimes it does get difficult, but I like the idea of 5 minutes. Sorry guys, my dogs are going crazy. Of the 5-minute meditation and just kind of going in the bathroom, locking yourself away and just relaxing for 5 minutes to kind of get that grounding and focus. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I love that too. We all love a meeting with me. A me meeting. Take it, Chantal. Thank you. All right, 13 to 17. I saw a lot of y'all up there. Put up your numbers again. 13 to 17. All right, 13 to 17. Great. Is that Hope? I see you, Hope, right there. Hope in the red with glasses. Hope Immaculate? Is that what it says? Hope Immaculate. Yes. Hi there.
Hi, Oprah.
Hi. You're doing good. You're doing really well. You scored well. That's a high score.
Thank you.
Yes. So you're mostly pretty nimble, right? From time to time, you might need to take a moment to release your hold on what you can't control. But if you're scoring in the 17s, you're doing pretty good. Pretty good. What did you want to say?
Sometimes it can get hard, but I'm trying to adopt.
Go ahead. Keep talking.
Hello?
Keep talking.
Oh, sometimes it can be hard, but being a student in the university and the university being closed and not hearing from our lecturers, you just have to find a ways to adopt and study as much as you can. Where
are you from? Where are you speaking to us from?
I'm from Kenya.
Oh, good. Oh, Kenya's in the house.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So what's your question? Do you actually have a question for Jay? Do you have a question?
Not really. I'm just happy to be here and hear from everyone. Yeah.
Jay, but you heard what you said, and I think a lot of students are feeling this too. They're feeling disrupted because you're having to take your classes online. It's like, one of my daughters was supposed to start law school this fall, and now has to be online with the law school, which I'm really happy because it means she gets to stay home. But what do you want to say to all the students out there who are feeling much of what she's sharing, Hope is sharing?
Yeah, I'd love to say that for anyone who's struggling as a student, it's good to recognize that pain and acknowledge it and that loss and, the community and being with your fellow students and graduation, of course, that so many have missed as well. But I'd say that now's a really good time to explore things that you may not have had time for before. I think as students, now's the time to explore your passions, to explore your interests and follow your curiosities that may be beyond even your curriculum, because it's such a rare opportunity that you get this time as a student to explore beyond what your curriculum has. And I would encourage everyone to use this time in that way.
Thank you so much, Hope. Thank you so much. Love to you in Kenya. Jay, wouldn't you say, I said this at the very beginning in episode 1 here of our WW streaming, that the sooner you can get to acceptance, it's like the stages of grief. The sooner you can get to acceptance and not resisting what is, but just acknowledge and accept that this is what it is, that the easier it is just to move forward. You cannot get to where you want to go as long as you're resisting where you are.
Yes, well said. As long as we're lost in the what if and not in the what is, we can't make any changes. And our mind is constantly creating a dialogue of what if this, what if that, what if this? And we get lost in what if. Whereas if we go, what is happening, and how do I respond to that? How do I accept that, like you said, and how do I push forward from there? That what is where we need to live.
Yeah, what is and not what if. I love the way you put that. Flexibility. Okay, those of you who are scored 18 to 20, you doing all right? Doing all right? Yep. Very good. Flexibility is a strong suit of yours, and it's especially handy when facing the many disruptions in this moment. I was really surprised to see so many of you who scored so high, 18. That's really good. So now the question becomes, as I was saying earlier in our conversation today, when you've got it, when you feel like you've got it together, the next question is, how can you help someone else who may be struggling during these unprecedented times? How can you use your adaptation to help someone else? How do you take what you have? Because that is the life process. I have it. Now, how do I share it? I have it. Now, how do I share it? How do I offer it in a way that it can be received? Okay, group score. Let's see how everybody did as a whole. 1% of you, only 1%. I think the fact that you're here on a Saturday is why only 1% scored in the 5 to 8 category. When you say that, Jay, if 1% scored 5 to 8, yeah. The fact that you're here means that you're already, you're seeking higher ground, and just the seeking itself means that you're willing to adapt.
Yeah, your commitment's really obvious to be here on a Saturday morning or whatever time it is, wherever you are. It's really showing your dedication.
Yeah, love that. 16% scored 9 to 12, and 52% scored 13 to 17. It's very good, y'all. 30% scored 18 to 20. I think that's our highest for 18 to 20. So a lot of you, particularly on this call, we really need to share our energy with the rest of the world at this particular time, however you can. Okay, now go to the bottom of the last page and let's do the word exercise. I want you to write down the word that you feel can help you strengthen and how you choose to adapt. Let me see your words. And then what one simple thing can you do every day to put your word and how you adapt into action? Oh, set aside. I like that. Patience, gratitude, focus, looking at all your words. Grace. Don't you love that word, grace? I love that, Michelle, that you chose grace. Always looking for a moment of that. I am fulfilled. I think that's Jonathan Champ. Is that Jonathan Champ? Jonathan, what's your word? Good to see you. Okay. So now we're going to talk to Denise. And Denise has an extraordinary story. Hi, Denise.
Hi, Oprah.
So tell us what's happening with your story.
Well, thank you for having us. We are so grateful to share our story with you and with your audience. We are living in a house quarantined. This is we like to say, our blended family of exes. I am living here in Vermont. We were living in New York City, and this is my son, Jalen, and this is my ex-husband, Jordan Fish, and
so you're living in a house with your ex-husband and his wife, and
her kids and her ex-husband. So we decided once New York City became really the epicenter that it would be best for all of us to leave.
Wow. Hi, everybody. Hi, family.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, good. So you're with your ex-husband and his wife, her children, and then her ex. And how's that all working out, y'all?
It's going really well, actually. We better than ever expected. We had never really all spent time together before, and like so many people are experiencing in this crazy world that we're living in, divorce typically brings a lot of divide and hate, and We have never all really spent time together. We've collaborated as parents and co-parenting, but we felt like when you get divorced, you have to put your children first. And that's what we all did here when New York City became the epicenter. And so we've been living here together for about 3 months. We're having family dinners every night, and we are trying to collaborate and to work together. And so far it's going well, although, you know, there's challenges like many other people are having, but we're doing the best that we can living here together.
So it's nice to meet you all, family. Denise is going to stay on and have a private talk with all of us. She won't talk about you too badly, I'm sure, but thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. So Denise, what is it you wanted to share? You wanted to say, bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Thank you. Well, we've been
This is the ultimate in adapting your ex-husband and his wife, and then her ex-husband, and then all the children. So, okay, so what's the problem?
Yeah, you know, it's not necessarily so much of a problem, but I think by sharing everything that we're experiencing, we hope that, and I hope always that people can be helped by it. And so I wrote a piece talking about how I was lonely in a house full of people. And I had just overcome cancer. I just had started dating again. And then this happened. And so it's been quite interesting to share my journey and to talk about the fact, and I think it's always important to talk honestly, but it's really lonely, even though I'm living in a house with 7 people, and you know, and we're having beautiful dinners every night, and we're really connecting, and we're sharing what we're grateful for, and there is so much for us to be grateful for,
Right.
especially in the world that we live in right now. We are all safe, we are all healthy, but just like everyone else, I miss my mom. She's 76. I miss my friends. I miss people. I'm a social person. And, you know, I'm living with people that I wouldn't choose to live with. And so it does get lonely, even though I'm with people and safe and healthy. So we're grateful for that. But, you know, I don't know how to go on with my life. I'm doing virtual dates.
Because how long are you all, everybody is still in lockdown, right?
We are, and we've been isolated, and we don't know what the future holds, and that's the scary part. We don't know how our life is going to go back to normal. How are we going to separate or divorce again?
Yeah. Jay, have at it.
Wonderful to meet you, Denise, and thank you for sharing so openly. I think the first thing that comes to my mind is just reminding yourself of the intention behind the decision you made when you all moved in together, because I'm guessing that there was some real intent, there was some real sense behind this decision. Maybe you felt that it was providing a support mechanism for the kids. Maybe you felt it felt like a safe space to be in. There was definitely some logic behind the decision in the beginning, even if the experience has been tough. And I really want you to reconnect with that, because sometimes when we reconnect with our intention, it strengthens and fuels us to continue to move through these challenges. The second thing that comes to mind is, and I know you miss your friends, and I know you miss your mother, and it sounds like even though you have these connections in your shared space, you're missing certain people. And here's the thing, connection is not based on shared space, it's based on shared experiences. And so what I'd encourage you to do is continue to go on those virtual dates, continue to design virtual experiences, virtual workouts, virtual discussions, virtual game nights with those people that are the people that you want to connect with, and allow yourself to be free in that, to feel liberated to do that. You don't need to feel the pressure to hold back and only spend time with the people that you're in a room with. And one of the things that I really want to point out, which it seems like you're doing from the pictures, and I see that, is sometimes when we have a past with someone, our mind just gets full of like all the past moments. But what I love that you're doing is you're using this to create new memories. And I really think that that's a great way of rewiring these relationships, of invest more time in creating these new memories with the people that you're around now, even if there are past moments that may be tough or challenging.
And isn't there also, Denise, an element of there's a part of you that you want to get out? This is what the producers had shared with me. There's a part of you that you want to get out and date. Like, is there a relationship that you have? You have someone to date, right?
There's somebody I'd like to go on a date with. Yes, absolutely. And we've been connecting on FaceTime, and we feel like we know each other. And it's been, there's something interesting about dating virtually, that we really get to know each other more quicker. And so I actually don't think that's been a bad experience. I think that's actually been a very good experience in terms of really taking the time to get to know somebody. But there comes a point that I'm 46 years old and I would like to get on with my social life and my dating life. And I hope to meet somebody that I can spend the rest of my life with. And it's lonely not having
so
that.
part of the reason I asked that question, because part of it is exactly what we were saying before. I don't know if you heard us, is that you haven't accepted that in this moment, you haven't fully accepted because you're resisting what is, and you want to get on with it. From what I heard from the producers, you want to go out and date, but everybody in the house says once you go out, you can't come back. And I would say, I wouldn't let you back in either, Denise, if you were here. That's our rule at our house. If you go out, you can't come back in. I said that to Stedman the other day, who says other people are golfing. I said, other people don't live here. And if you want to go out, then you're going to have to be quarantined for another 14 days. So I understand the rest of the people in the house. I also understand you wanting to get on with your life. You should elevate that virtual dating. One of my daughters, every Friday night, because her partner is in another state. And every Friday night, I actually helped them last night, build a little fire, helped her build a little fire, create a little mood, a little wine and cheese. He's on his end, and they're doing this virtual painting together. And they've been working on the same painting now for a long time, I would say. And I think just from what I've heard from her, the connections have deepened. So you need an activity, not just talking virtual dating, but an activity virtual dating. And it's turned into a really special thing. And we all know every Friday at 5:00, that's her date time. And we have dinner accordingly so that she can get to her date time.
Yeah, I get that. And I understand everybody's perspective here. It is a very hard thing. We have been here for 3 months. And the question is, when do we separate? How does that work? And when is it appropriate? As the rest of our country starts to slowly open, when do we start to slowly live our lives a little bit again? And that's the question that we're all sort of trying to figure out here.
Is it that everybody can't agree on what that is?
We're just starting to have the conversation. So we're trying to be respectful of each other, but sometimes, I'm typically one who thinks about others, and I might be being a little bit selfish right now. I feel like I've spent 3 months here and it's been wonderful in many ways. And I think we've taught our kids the most incredible life lessons and how to adapt and how to be together and how to live happily divorced in ways that works for everyone. But I think it also has to continue to work for everyone. And I think that I don't live in fear. I am a cancer survivor and I went through a 4-year battle, and I don't like to live in fear. I like to live responsibly and smartly, but I also like to enjoy life to the fullest. And obviously we can't do that right now, but I think that there are ways to incorporate and bring real life back with social distancing, with masks, with gloves, with taking a little time apart and coming back and being as careful as we were before.
I think you all are going to figure it out, because right now, I mean, when we saw your whole family there, the X's and the X's and the X pluses, you become a model for the rest of the world. And the fact that you all were able to do that, it goes back to what Jay was just saying earlier. You need to give yourself credit for what you've already accomplished. Give yourself a round of applause. Can we give Denise a round of applause, you all, for what you've already accomplished? And I'm going to come check back in a week to see what happens in that conversation, because you all are some smart people who figured out how to make this work. I know you're going to make it work going forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I can't wait to hear what you all decide. I can't wait to hear what the family meeting was. We'll check back next week. Thank you, Denise. Thank you. Jay, you're going to come back later and do a special meditation, right?
I am, Oprah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you then. Okay. Each week I tell you WW has a text number, and I know you probably think we're not reading your notes, but we are. We're reading them all. In fact, that's how we met this week's WW success story. And here's the number again on your screen. It's 917-924-4450. And I want you to think about what you're ready to commit to in terms of your wellness, because that's what we're talking about next week. Is it more movement? Is it better nutrition? Is it more kindness to yourself? Is it more focus on yourself? Commitment is our topic for next week, and we want to hear from you. And today I want you to meet Cassie, who we met through our texting. She sent us a text to say that after joining us on tour in Fort Lauderdale and hearing about our WW member story, she was inspired to join and begin her own wellness journey. And even though the world started to close down, she stayed focused. And I'm thrilled to tell you that she's now lost 24 pounds since January. Wow. What was your why for joining, Cassie?
Hi, Oprah.
Hi there.
Actually, as of Saturday, it is over 26 pounds. So that was super.
So what did you hear in Fort Lauderdale that caused that shift? What happened?
So I heard a lot of stories about individuals who prior to WW had a lot of behaviors that I had, and then their stories after joining WW. And I had previously done crash diets and just trying to fit into the dress or get ready for a wedding. And I didn't have something that was sustainable for my life. And when I went to Fort Lauderdale, that was something that I found. You know, I heard you ask the question, what is holding you back from your highest, truest self? And you said it again today. And I had this moment where I reflected on, you know, how I always had this commitment to my friends and I would never break plans with them. But if I set the alarm to go work out or go meal prep, I'd hit snooze. And I'd cancel plans on myself continuously. And I really wanted to make that commitment to myself to find something that was sustainable and about wellness and not about the numbers on the scale. And
Good
really
for
make
you. Good for you. So you sent us a video of just some of the changes that you have made despite the quarantine. Let's take a look at you, girl. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Something that I implemented were a few things of structure. So the first weekend that we were on stay at home, we cleaned out our entire garage and reorganized, decluttered, and set up an at-home gym. I've started setting my alarm and doing workouts at the time that I would need to do them in order to get to work in the morning. We would come up with our workouts the night before so that we would look forward to something for the next morning, and we were creative. Then I started looking up different recipes. This was an opportunity for me to really experiment with cooking. That was something new that we tried too, which we made fun. On Blue, it is 1 point and it is a perfect grab and go breakfast muffin. All right, there you go. Another thing that we added in was meditation and gratitude. Gratitude was something that I always did, but it was really important to continue that during this time. Also doing my virtual meetings and weigh-ins every week and seeing results and also celebrating non-scale victories kept that motivation.
1 point muffin, I'd like to know what's in that. I'll connect with you on the Connect app, okay?
Yes, please do.
Okay. Okay, I know the WW app on your phone has been a constant source for you to help you adapt to shifting things around you. How so?
So first, it helps really create the behavior of figuring out
what is the good choice for me or what's worth it. So tracking is number one that I use the app for. And then it's my cookbook. I find so many recipes on the app. It's my personal trainer. I do the fit on and the digital workouts. I use the meditation section. And then I go to my virtual workshops, which I absolutely love. And I go every single week and I meet with the same group and we get to cheer each other on during that progress. So it's
great. Hey, what's your Connect name? Because I am going to contact you. I want to know how you get a muffin to be 1 point.
Sure, absolutely.
What's your Connect name?
Yeah, it is CASSC 10.
Okay. All right. I'll be contacting you for the recipe. Thank you, Cassie.
Awesome. Thanks, Oprah.
All right. Thanks for sharing. You look great, by the way. You look fantastic. So when we talk about adapting to our current reality, my first thought is always my best friend, Gail. Gail is someone who loves to be part of the world. Oh my God, the most social being I have ever known, heard, or read about. She likes soaking in every experience. I can't tell you how many times we've been to events or parties where I'm just like, good, I can't wait to get out of here. And then we leave and Gail goes, wasn't that fun? And I'm like, was it fun? I don't know. Okay. So she's one of those people who talks to every person she meets. Everybody becomes a friend. She comes home with the cab driver's stories. And when I think back to one of the last times we were together, it was early March in Denver, which was the last stop of our 2020 Vision Tour. And the world was just starting to close. We actually, on that day, were surprised that all of you showed up in Denver. We're like, because we're thinking it's time to start shutting down. If we knew then what we know now, we would have been shut down, because on that evening, I probably shook hands and took pictures with over 400 people. And I would not have been doing that had I known what we know now about COVID-19. So now we've been FaceTiming more than we ever have in our lives. Gail and I have. Even when I call, Gail goes, let's FaceTime. And there you are,
yes,
sitting in the kitchen with your boyfriend clock.
Like, okay, let's FaceTime.
Hi, Gail.
That's so true. Hi, Oprah. The story, Denise's story. You know, I love Denise's story, living with the ex and the ex of the ex. I love that. I love that they can do that. And I think what a message that sends.
Yeah.
Really,
I see you there with your boyfriend clock.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Here he is. Here.
Wait, boyfriend clock. Every time I talk to Gail, I go, how are you doing? She goes, I'm so alone. I'm here by myself. I go, well, I think I see your boyfriend in the shot. There's boyfriend clock. Yeah.
Yes. And I say, you know, I like him tall. He's very tall. He's double-sided too. I know, Oprah, it is. It's interesting. I thought, listen, it's no secret to you that I'm a people person. I knew that about myself too. So this has really been a little hard. Is it connection that good?
Yeah, it's good. You know, a lot of people say they're a people person, but you really are a people person. And I think people would expect. Yeah, you truly are. I've never seen anybody who enjoys being around people, all kinds of people, no matter who they are or what their story is, more than you. So if you follow Gail,
try being a people person and having a crappy week. Try that. It ain't good. Yeah. It's just me, myself, and I'm here. It ain't good.
If you follow Gail on Instagram, you know it's been a transition for her in so many ways. At first, you said it was daunting and scary. So how are you doing today? Listen, I woke up literally teary, you know, looking at all of the unrest around the country. I know it's been a difficult week for all of us.
Oprah, we've been up since 4:00. Me, Kirby, and Will. It's the weirdest thing. They sent an article. I responded. They said, you're up. I said, I've been awake for the last hour. I literally could not sleep because I'm watching it. And all of us feel so haunted and unsettled by it. I cannot stop thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about the looting. I can't stop thinking about George Floyd. I can't stop thinking about the expression on that cop's face when he had his knee on his neck. And he's so comfortable. He's so comfortable, guys. He had his hands in his pocket. That's That's the universal sign of, I am really chilling here. I am so comfortable.
Yeah.
And so,
You know, I was shocked by the first video. I mean, the first, because you're the one who sent me the video at first, because you're like, have you seen it? I said, oh, I've heard about it. And you said, no, you have to see it. So I was shocked when I literally was just like stunned, because you can't believe you're watching. It's like someone being choked to death in front of you, and you see the life seeping from him. So you're shocked by that. And then when I saw the video from the other angle of the two police officers holding him down at the same time that he is being choked to death, I that's the one that sent me all the way over.
Me too.
You had a moment on CBS on the air. I remember you telling me afterwards that you thought you were going to lose it.
I did think I was going to. I was trying very hard, you know, because we are CBS, just the facts, nothing but the facts, ma'am. You don't show emotion. We're not there. People don't want to hear your opinion. I get that. And I wasn't trying to do that. But that story, coupled with the Central Park lady story, they were both in the same broadcast, very close together.
Yeah, they were back to back.
Preceded by Ahmaud Arbery the week before that. I mean, we've almost moved on from Ahmaud Arbery. How about that? That was a big story. We've almost moved on from that. And then we're just going to go on to something else. And I just said, you know, this is just too much. It was just too much. And I did have it bothers me even now when I still think about it, when I still look at that video. And to know, Oprah, at the very end, he was calling for his mother who died, according to eyewitnesses, his mother who died 2 years ago. The most primal instinct that we all have in times of trouble, regardless of your age, he's calling for his mama. I mean,
on the news, you said, I love that you said that as the mother of a Black man, it feels like, as the daughter of a Black man and as the mother of a Black man, it feels like open season on Black men.
Yeah, and I know can't. It feels personal. It feels personal. It does feel personal. You know Will very well. You've known him even before he was here. So I think, Will, walking your dog Scott, who we all love and adore, could go left at any moment sometimes, I think. This is what happens. You're doing the most ordinary things, and you lose your life doing the most ordinary things. This Central Park lady calls, it shouldn't matter that he went to Harvard, but he's a Harvard-educated bird watcher. That could have turned into something. So you should see me go, I wear my T-shirts that have college logos on them, and I wear a colorful bandana. Even though I said,
well, he wears a colorful bandana, and I know that there are a lot of white people probably around the world who don't even understand the depth of it, because it isn't just this one thing. And the reason why you're seeing what you're seeing with the unrest in the streets is because people have felt invisible and unheard. And unheard. And when you feel invisible and unheard, it sends the message that you don't matter. Don't matter. And so I do not know a Black man, period, including Stedman Graham, who has not been profiled. I do not know a Black man who has not been stopped at some point, including Stedman Graham. And that's what Gail is talking about. You're a Black man, you have a Black son, you know, at any time. There's no Black mother who hasn't had the conversation with her son about making the adaptation to when you are stopped, having the right demeanor and the right behavior, and, you know, going into that, whatever is necessary to keep yourself alive. But when you look at that videotape, he did all of that.
Thank God for the videotape. Listen, if there wasn't a videotape in the Central Park case, in this case, in the Ahmaud Arbery case, people say, well, it's better. Racism isn't better. Racism still exists. It's just now on video. And I think that's why it's painful, actually. It's extremely painful. The difference in this case.
Particularly painful if you are a Black person, and also if you, the mother of a Black son, because I know when I saw you break down that you're thinking about, this could be my own son. And I know you had a conversation with your son, Will, my godson, when COVID-19 first started and he was going out to walk his dog, and Will showed you his mask and you said,
it was Black. It was all Black. And I said, that's a little scary. It could look menacing. He said, but what difference does it make? what color my mask is, I go, Will, it makes a difference. It just does. It makes a difference. And so I know he was a little irritated by that conversation, but, cut to Central Park, cut to Ahmaud Arbery, cut to George Floyd, and that's why, but I said this is what I was saying to them this morning, Kirby and Will. I feel that this is different this time, guys, because white people are speaking out. For the first time, I see white police officers saying, oh no, this is wrong. You never see that. And Will goes, well, that's because you had a breakdown on TV that you feel that people are reaching out. I go, number one, it wasn't a breakdown. I was just making a comment. I don't like to call it a breakdown. I like to call it, Oprah, I had a moment.
You had a moment.
He said, but when I'll feel differently, when I don't wake up feeling anxious or don't feel sad or don't feel frustrated, I'm worried about him because he's really, like everybody, Black men in particular, are just really worried about.
No, actually, I'm going to call him. I'm going to call Will because he said, can we talk about it?
You should call him.
He said, let's talk about what's going on this week. So let's talk about the quarantine. You've only been out 3 times since March.
Yes. The last time I was out, because I was with you after we did in Denver, then we had a little breaky poo, and then left your house, and I've been here ever since. And in New York, where we are in the epicenter, you're like, it's like a friggin' petri dish here. And so I'm afraid. And you said to me, and I said to Kirby, Auntie O is ridiculous. She thinks that I might need professional help, that I'm becoming an agoraphobic. And I go, that's so ridiculous. And Kirby goes, well, what do you think agoraphobia means? Well, someone who's afraid to leave the house. And she goes, I don't see myself like that. I just feel that because I'm healthy, not
you don't you don't think that the fact that you haven't been able to go outside, you've now been out 3 times, right?
3 times in over 50 something days. Yep. And when I do, I scurry out and scurry right back in. And because I go, oh, there's a lot of people out here. Let me get on home. And I don't want to be that, but I feel myself changing because of it, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't.
And how do you feel yourself changing, Gail?
That I'm afraid. I was never afraid. And certainly never afraid of people. But the only way you can get this is by human contact, whether it's a touch, whether it's talking to someone and the vapors in the air. That's the only way you can get it. And so I'm just very cautious about who I'm around, who comes into the house. It's it's just me, Alexis, and Anita, who does my hair. I'm thinking it would be great to come to California, asking for a friend. Like if there's a guest house that I could stay in and bring Alexis and Anita, just asking for a friend. Because I was just thinking, there's nothing I could do that I couldn't do in California that I can't do here. And we don't know when we're going back into the studio. But we'll see.
Well, you're welcome to come here. We've been talking about this about you.
It's a lot to ask, Oprah. I know that it's a lot to ask because it's equipment.
You are welcome to come here with Anita and Alexis. I know I've known Anita. You're a hairdresser for a long time, and Alexis. I think that would actually help you coming here because we're outside every day, Gail.
I know.
And birds.
I know. I look at you guys.
We're outside every day. You can join our walks in the morning, and then you can
quarantine for 14 days, which we'd all be happy to do. But the other day, Oprah, you said,
"Listen, I see people putting up all the people putting up things in the window saying, "Go, Gail, go. You should go." Yeah, you should go. You should come here.
I have to work that out with CBS. We'll see. But I'm more open to it.
You should come here, and I'm telling you, you would change just being able to feel like you could go out there. You have to be quarantined for 14 days now. We will put you in the guest house.
I know. I saw Stedman. I'm going to call Stedman and get some tips on how do you go through quarantine.
We will drop your food off at the door, and we will. Yeah, because even though you've been in your house for 14 days, what it takes to get on a plane and get here, you would have to be quarantined for 14 days. But then after 14 days, you are free to be. You should do that.
That's dicey. But the other day, Oprah, you got to me when you said, I made banana pudding. I go, banana pudding with Nabisco wafers? with
Yes, I
custard.
did.
And then you said, yes, from scratch.
From scratch, because I'm trying new
Oh my
things.
God.
That's why I scored 20 on my adaptation, because I'm trying new things.
Oh, you
I
did
made
20? What do you think I got? I did the test too. What do you think I got? I didn't get 20.
5 to
I didn't
8.
get 20. No.
No, I'm only kidding. I think you,
You know I
probably
didn't get no
got, I
5 to
think you
8.
probably got 13, 14.
I got 15, 16, which means
Okay.
you're mostly nimble, but from
Yeah.
time to time, you might need to take a moment to release your hold on what you cannot control. I thought this was pretty spot on.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good for me. Really good for me.
Yeah.
Because I got 4s most of the time.
Because
Yeah,
I will say that a couple of times I've been outside and the birds have been so loud that Gail goes, "Are those birds?" And I go, "Yeah, the birds." Have y'all
Yeah.
noticed, those of you who can get outside, that the birds are louder? And Gail's like,
Birds
I
are
see-
louder because there's less people. The birds,
Yeah.
the animals, all of them are coming out. They're glad we're not out
all the
there.
animals are like,
They're glad
"Yay!"
of it.
So yeah, and I know you watch the bird. Every time a bird goes by, you're like, "Hi, bird."
Yes, I'm the one that goes into the living room. The birds fly by. I go, "Hi, my name is Gail. I'll be here tomorrow." You know, I walk by the mirror and say, "Hey, Gail, how you doing?" It's just me,
Oh my
myself, and
God.
I. And I'm
It's time
kind
to
of sick
come.
of me. I like me. I like me, but I'm kind of sick of me. Me,
No,
myself.
hey
I never
everybody. Gail-
realized. And listen, you know, Oprah, I have never minded being single. You know that. I don't mind being single. Would I like to share my life with someone? Absolutely true. But I've never minded being single because I know so many people, go to so many great places. But it's really different when you are single, and it's just you, yourself, and I. And I almost feel guilty even bitching about that because, people have far bigger problems. Look, I have a nice place. I'm healthy, knock on wood. I have a job that I really like. But I don't think there should be a hierarchy of pain. The people that can't go to the prom or can't go to college or can't go to,
You miss what you miss.
So a relative to the hospital. So my pain is just as great, but I also know that I'm very, very blessed under the circumstances. So I don't take that lightly either.
Well, you need to come here because watching you cook, all these years I've known you couldn't cook, but Lord, even I was surprised.
Now you're hurting people, Oprah.
No,
You're
even
not
I
one to
was
hurt people.
surprised.
Now you're hurting people.
I was surprised when you posted that you were surprised that an egg rolls off the counter. I meant, oh my
Yeah.
God. Haven't you made
Why is
eggs?
the egg? Listen.
Haven't you made?
Yes,
you've
I've made eggs in
before?
my life, but I said it there, and I thought, how in the world did it just roll like that? I said it there. It's not like it's a round ball; it's oval.
Yeah,
Well,
but
that
eggs
hasn't
roll
happened
off the
again. But
counters. Eggs roll off the counters. Anyway, before the pandemic,
So
you were
learned.
working out every single day. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, I still do that. I still do. I'm not going to say every day, but at least 5 to 6 days a week. I definitely still do that because I think
I would like to tell everybody that you were actually on WW before I was. And how is WW helping you stay on track? Are you still tracking?
Well, yeah, but what I learned is that it's not good when you try to do the points in your head. You
No,
really should absolutely write them down.
That's why you have an app. That's why you have an app.
Yes, I know. I do. I definitely have the app, but I think, okay, I know that.
Yeah, Janine was just
it's very
scribbling her head that you were doing that. I saw you, Janine, like you couldn't believe it. Yes.
But that I was doing it in my head.
Yeah, because you can't do it in your head. Yes,
I know,
because and you can't do it after you've eaten the thing. I did that once after like a peanut butter sandwich. It doesn't work.
Too. Yeah.
Doesn't work. It's like you track.
Well, that's the good thing
before
about
you
it.
put it in your mouth, right?
That's the thing about it. It does. It's easy to follow, and the beauty is you're still eating real food. So it doesn't. You don't have to feel, oh, I'm missing something. You're still. I have a chef who brings me food because, as you know, I cannot cook. I got him from Derek. You know Derek. You're Derek. Your makeup artist told me about Chef Jamoke Jackson, who I talk to him every Saturday, and we go through a little menu, and he drops it off on Monday to take me through the week. Because even when you get frozen food, even good frozen food, after a while, I know you're shaking you're doing your head like dog head, like what? What frozen food? What is that?
No. But
so even when you have great frozen food, It still feels like frozen food.
Yeah.
I know.
And my banana pudding is only going to get better. I can tell you that. I made my first one. It was literally, I had the best scene. I'm going to probably post it eventually when everything dies down. It is that everybody was in the kitchen and the whole dish was empty, and Stedman had taken the last piece and the girls had spoons trying to scrape the bottom. So I guess it was pretty good. And listen,
did you make the meringue from scratch?
I made the meringue too. So guys, this is a funny thing.
When you do banana pudding, you don't count points. You just don't. You made the meringue from scratch.
Add up the points for the banana pudding. It's so ridiculous you can't even. So I had one bite of it. It's just you just can't account for the points in a banana pudding. You can't excuse yourself on that. So there you go.
And that's okay. And I would have 2 bowls, maybe 3, and then I'd be done. Well,
it reminded me of the time we were at Maya Angelou's house, and Maya Angelou had made a banana pudding in the day for dinner, and that we were in separate parts of the house, you and I, going to the kitchen at different times of the night, eating that banana pudding, and by the morning there was no banana pudding left. So I know you've been keeping yourself
Oprah,
busy. What?
Hey, Oprah. But Oprah, just for a second, don't you miss Maya during times like this? I really do.
Oh my God.
I really do.
Don't
I was thinking about that the other day. I was thinking, God, it would be so nice just to run some things by her during this particular time.
I was thinking about her too, but I actually was thinking about her because the anniversary of her death was 2 days ago on the 28th. And so it's been 6 years. And I was thinking about what would Maya say in this moment. And then I realized that Maya has been through this so many times. She was there for the original takedown of Martin Luther King. Yeah. And Martin Luther King was assassinated on April 4th, which was her birthday, which just destroyed her. So anyway, I was been thinking a lot about her. As a co-host of CBS This Morning, you've literally had to bring your work home with you, broadcasting from your apartment every morning. I like seeing little pictures of Will and Kirby behind you. While so many experts, are advising limiting the amount of news we consume right now. So how are you able to stay mentally well while you have to intake all of that? That's what I don't get.
Well, I know. Well, I'm not limiting my intake of news. I probably should, but I'm not. I am a true blue news junkie. The first thing I do is turn on the TV. The first thing I do when I get home is turn on the TV. I have 11 TVs in every room of my house. I really do like to know what's going on. But I mean, even Will said to me the other day, I can't even watch the news anymore. He said, I watch the eye opener and then I just can't take it in. And I get that because it is too freaking much. But I do think people should stay informed. You should start in the morning. Hopefully it's CBS This Morning. You have a lot of options. Of course, I hope it's that. And then I would just do periodic check-ins if I was a person that wasn't on the news, just so you know what's going on. Like today is a space launch, maybe, depending on weather, knock on wood. They're still, of course, rioting in Minneapolis. There's unrest. They had a news story this morning, Oprah, that a police officer's wife, the guy who was doing the kneeling, that she filed for divorce. And she is expressing her sympathy to the Floyd family. I just thought that was very interesting.
That's something. That's humanity showing up. That's some humanity showing up.
Yes, I mean, she was saying how it bothered her. But I do think you need to be informed. But I understand. Bless you. I do understand why it's too much for people. I get it.
But this is what I said at the beginning, and I feel this is true. This is a moment. I feel that this moment is different than all the others because we saw it. You saw it, people of the world.
Seen it before?
No, we have not.
We haven't seen it like this.
Literally seep from his body and his body go limp. It's like watching a lynching and seeing the noose around the neck, only it wasn't a noose, it was knees. You literally saw the body go limp in real time. And because it was so much time, that's why it's emblazoned in our minds. And you can't forget because you are not supposed to forget. And you cannot just let yourself be outraged in this moment of your outrage, the next time you see an injustice and you turn and pretend that you didn't see it, then you are a part of the problem and not the overall conscious solution. That's it. And we have all got to do in our own way to work toward the systemic dismantling of injustices and racism and the caste system in this country that allows for racism to exist. That is what has to happen. And until you can see that, this is what I want to say.
That's why I feel maybe it's different. Because wait, I just want to say this. He had his knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Think about that for a second. For 2 minutes and 53 seconds, George Floyd was unresponsive. So he still left his knee there for 2 minutes and 53 seconds after he stopped moving.
You can't deny what that is. You can't deny what that is. You just can't deny.
And then the video that we saw yesterday of the other two holding his legs. So at no point was he resisting.
But here's the thing that people don't understand who say, well, that didn't have anything to do with me, racism today, and that wasn't my country. Here, it's as simple as this. There's the micro and there's the macro. In your own personal life, if somebody did you wrong, if you were raised in a family of alcoholics, your father was an alcoholic, your mother was an alcoholic, you didn't get what you needed, you weren't offered the nurturing and support that you felt that you deserved, there was dysfunction in your family, you cannot move forward until that is acknowledged. Is that true? It's true. And the same thing is true in the micro, is true in the macro. There can't be a moving forward until there is an acknowledgement of what has actually occurred and continues to occur systemically in this country. So everybody who keeps saying, oh, no, it isn't. Oh, no, it isn't. That's why you have the videos so that now you can see it. So you take your outrage and you use it. You take your outrage and you use it to work to dismantle the constructs of the injustice that continues.
Black and white. This is what gets me. This is
it's only going to happen until all people come together, because Black people already know it. So the white people.
What I was going to say. Yeah. Because I know this is black and white, and this was clearly race when I look at this, and anybody with two eyes sees race too. But it really should be a humane and about humanity. Is really that's why people everywhere should be outraged and say, we're not going to take this anymore. We're not.
Yeah.
It should be about the humanity of all of us. That's why this feels different to me.
And the only reason we saw it is because there was a camera. It has happened hundreds and hundreds of thousands of times. And the only reason and now you saw it. So now you can't pretend you didn't see it. So a lot of people have found themselves.
Also the Philando Castile story, that's the same city where Philando Castile was shot in the police car with the belt on, where he said, wait, I have a gun, I'm licensed to carry the gun, and he was shot. So, and that police officer was acquitted. So I think people are still very on edge in Minneapolis. And when you see the looting and the rioting and the protest, before you judge those people, I did an interview with somebody yesterday who said, you can't tell people how to mourn, which I thought was very powerful. You are looking at pain and anger and frustration. It's hard when you see somebody walking away with two TVs and their knees buckling. That's not what this is about. This is about calling attention to humanity and the lack of humanity and the lack of justice. It made me think about Colin Kaepernick too. This is what his kneeling was about. His kneeling was about social injustice and racial injustice. It was never about disrespecting the country. And I think people are also starting to look at that differently too. They said it's okay. I saw a very powerful graphic of the officer kneeling on George Floyd and Colin Kaepernick kneeling side by side. And they go, this is what he was kneeling for. Where is the outrage? Where's the outrage?
Okay. So we're going to move on.
We all need to adapt. We all need to adapt on that issue.
For sure. A lot of people found themselves asking big questions about their own life during this time. Who's going to care for them when they're sick? Am I close enough to my family? Am I alone? Am I lonely? What are some big questions you've been asking yourself?
Oh, they ain't big questions. They always say if you're over 60, that you are in the, it's not prime group, but you should be extra careful,
higher
which
risk,
I am, as you know.
Yeah.
higher risk. That's what I was looking for, higher risk. And I've said to both Kirby and Will, favorite daughter Kirby, favorite son Will, if I'm in the hospital and it looks like I'm leaving, listen, I'm not afraid to die. I just don't want to die in terror or horrified. I don't want to die like that. But if my time is here, I want them, because they're both in LA, as you know, get on a plane and suit up, come in there with the PPEs. And so I don't want to be in a hospital with somebody holding an iPad saying, they're here. Look, I got my thing. They're here. They're here. No, I said, you all are young. You all will recover. You just come on in and suit up, because the last faces I want to see, if I'm able, I don't want to be a nurse or a doctor who doesn't know me and I'm just patient number 99. And what did I say to you, Oprah, when I said, what did I
say to you? I said, I hope you have a good, strong iPad.
No, this is what Oprah said. Oprah said, move the iPad a little over to the left. Gail,
move to the left so I can
move the iPad over to the right.
What a wonderful friend you have been to me. Oh my God. Suit up.
Gail, can you hear me?
I'm not leaving my house. I'm not leaving my house. I'm not leaving my house. Yeah, y'all better come up with a vaccine if y'all want me to leave. All right.
You've
Gail.
already said that you are not leaving.
I'm not leaving my house. I'm not leaving my house. So pack your bags, check with CBS and see if
you're serious, Oprah. I hope you're serious, because I'm really giving this a lot. I've resisted it.
If I didn't
People
mean
have
it.
called me.
And Stedman's been saying we need to get Gail needs to get out of there. Gail needs to get out of there. And I was saying, well, early on in March, I was thinking, oh, well, you're going to go back in a short period of time. So you don't want to make the move here and then go back. And I thought you all would be back at work by now, but because you're not back at work, you really should just come and move here.
Do.
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome, Anita and Alexis. Okay.
Anita and Alexis. Good morning, viewers. I'm at Oprah's house.
We'll just put more chicken on the grill. There you go. Thank you, Gail. All right. Thank you, Gail. And
this was so fun. Thank you for asking me. Thank you. Yes. He's very nice too, my boyfriend Clark. Don't talk about him. He's very nice. See you guys.
Bye, Gail. I'll talk to you later.
Leaving meeting. Do I just click out or do I just sit here? What do I do?
No, at the end of every FaceTime call, Gail goes, in call. Who are you talking to? I don't even know who you're talking to. In call, Gail. In call. So my hope for your experience today, everybody, is to help you remember that adapting is to change, and moving in the flow is all about actually giving yourself some daily renewal, assessing and adapting to what matters most to you in every moment. In spite of what's going on in the world, we've got to keep ourselves whole and keep ourselves well. That's how we make change in the world for ourselves and for other people. So taking slow, significant steps, creating momentum until you feel your own flow, carrying you in the right direction. What I was saying earlier about authentic power, I live by that. Am I doing authentically what I'm supposed to be doing in this moment? Constantly asking yourself the question, does this feel right? Does this feel right? Is this right? What lies ahead remains a mystery, I know, for all of us. And as you were saying, Denise, not knowing what the future is going to hold, but we all, we're shaking our heads with you, Denise, when the fact that you could come together with all the X's means that y'all know how to figure it out. But the truth is, the miracle for all of us is that we do get to keep moving forward, that we are resilient, we are adapting, because that is what humans do. So I thank you for being with us. I hope that we can all take this time in what's going on in our country, and those of you who are not in our country, who are sharing with us from around the world. We need your thoughts and your prayers, and more than thoughts and prayers, we need to figure out what we're going to do to make it better, because we can do better and be better. I'll see you all next Saturday. Next week, Jennifer Garner joins us. So look for an email next week that'll have the new topic and workbook pages all about actively committing to our habits, our health and happiness. So bye for now. Jay Shetty's going to join us now for a special meditation that you can experience Monday on the WW app. Hope to see y'all there. Bye, everybody.